Hello. Alright, back at it again. I'm not really sure if I use this camera. Oh dear. That's fine. Actually, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I solved the storage situation on this phone, actually. No, I definitely have. It'll be fine. So, if it stops suddenly, that's probably why. Or there's a fire or an emergency or something. Those are the three things. Because a fire doesn't count as an emergency in that situation. Yeah, I don't remember if I've used my phone to do any of these videos before. If I haven't, then that's why this looks a little different. It probably actually, I quite like this how this angle looks on my iPad camera, and I'm not loving it on my phone. So I don't know what that's about. Because usually my phone looks better. Usually I get to look up all my facial details, and I like that. I like that. But not today. So that's fine. But what is happening today? I'm not really sure. The time is about 3 o'clock. So, again, still way later than it should be. But it's a Monday. I haven't been uploading videos over the weekend because I haven't been bothered. So that feels quite harsh. If you're a long-term fan of my things, it's nothing to do with you. It's a me thing. And don't feel like this is a burden on me either. Don't feel bad. Don't think about any of this. It's got nothing to do with you. I kind of came up with a system because usually, as I've mentioned before, my brain goes in a new spatial kind of zone when I'm close to falling asleep, and probably should be falling asleep but can't. My brain kind of activates in a new way, which is probably part of why it's so difficult for me to get to sleep. But part of that means is that when I think about recording these videos, I'm quite in the zone for it. I'm kind of prepared for it. Just because everything's right. So really I could record the videos, but they're usually too late at night. And I don't want people to listen to me. So I don't do that. But I do edit them. The only issue is it's late at night and I kind of want to go to bed. So sometimes I don't edit the videos. So that's why, really. It's not quite an excuse. But I am still using it as an excuse. So there you go. But enough of that. Agenda today, not much really. I've done loads of guitar. I'm sick at that. Sick at that, not of. I'm really good at guitar, except not really. But I'm better because I haven't been doing guitar for the past 2-3 days or something, which is quite unusual for me. Usually I'm not very consistent on many things, but guitar I'm pretty good at being consistent on. But I haven't done it for the past few days, and I've come back to it, and it kind of feels like when you go into the gym too much and everything's feels really heavy, and then you have a rest for a few days and suddenly you're really strong. That's kind of my situation of guitar, which is pretty cool. So yeah, that's and if you're wondering, I was doing the song "I Should Have Known Better" by the Beatles, so that's been fun. It's got some very quick chord changes. There's some new chords like the B7 chord and the G7 chord, so a lot of cool things. I've got a system of doing 30 Beatles songs, and I've arranged them in order of how difficult they are. So I'm working my way through the list, and it was supposed to take me 30 days. And and that was about 2 months ago I started, and I'm at song 4, I think. So it's more of a undertaking than I expected it to be. I'll put it that way. But it's good, and hopefully by the end of it, those 30 songs should encompass a good range of what music should be. The thing about the Beatles is they're kind of, they've got that reputation of the masters of music, or whatever. I don't think anyone's ever called them that, but we can imagine something like that. So you have, and a lot of music that comes after the Beatles is kind of like influenced by them. So by learning those 30 Beatles songs, hopefully that opens the doors to make learning more other songs easier, or something like that. And also, I quite like Beatles music. There was a period when I was like 16, 17, where the Beatles is all I listened to. So I know their music. They're a part of me. So hopefully, not hopefully, so I do like playing the songs. So yeah, that's good. And I've definitely found out my fingers they've got more of a grip, so that's good. And apparently learning an instrument is good for your brain. So that's something. I don't know if there's any merit in that. I kind of have a panic, and this is not really a valid panic to have anything over, but it's something it's valid nonetheless, as valid as a feeling. Though I got scared since I've left school. I'm scared that I've gotten dumber, and I kind of accepted half that was a paranoia, and it is a paranoia, because that's not really how intelligence works. But deep down, it feels true, and that's hard to shake. And about a year ago, I did, if you ever heard of the Wii game, Big Brain Academy, I think it's called that. A year ago, I did the kind of test on that, and I got a score of 1,300 or something, 1,300 grams, because they measure it in brain size. So this is academic. And I then yesterday I did it fun again, about a year later, and I got 1,100 G. And then I was panicking that my brain size has gotten smaller, and I'm shrinking, and I'm gonna have a hollow brain. And people will know, because I'll walk into a room and you'll hear my brain knocking against my skull, and that scares me. So or the alternative is that my head is getting smaller to kind of accustom my brain shape. And I just got my glasses, an eye test yesterday as well. And when I was looking for glasses, one of the women there said I had quite a small head. So that didn't help for my paranoia. So thanks for that, lady. She was actually quite nice. She's very helpful with choosing glasses, because usually I'm bad at that. But anyway, I hate her. And so I was very scared about having a tiny brain. And I thought, in order to quell this fear, I'll just play the game again, and then we'll prove that it's just luck, and this time I'm going to get 1,300 grams, and everything will be fine. So I did it again, and I got 1,030 grams or something like that. So now I'm really panicking, as you can imagine. So I played it, a few more times, and my brain size kind of stayed around 1,100 grams. So, suffice to say, that has ruined me. And for something that I thought was a paranoia, maybe it's true, Maybe this Wii game, created 15, 20 years ago, is actually figured out. I have this horrible brain disease and it's only getting worse from here. I don't know. I think that's probably the most logical explanation for this. So if you notice from now on, did I start in those videos just making no sense and less sense than I usually do, I guess, and just start not really making current sentences, then you know that it's started and it's only getting worse from here. So please donate. Please give me money. There we go. You can't. I'm not gonna let you give me money. That feels wrong. So yeah, that's my that's how I feel today, if you're wondering. But enough about me. Let me talk about something. No, this is actually just more stuff about me. But it's kind of universal in a way, so I'll talk about it more. So I've had an issue with waking up where I, instinctively go to my phone and scroll on that or whatever. And I try to... I'm aware that I do this, so I don't instantly go on YouTube or any of the social media sort of things where you could have that addictive swiping. But my brain is an idiot, as we've discussed. And, it wants to go on the addictive stuff because that's what releases the good dopamine feelings. So it tricks me into going onto the apps. And then, once you start scrolling, you can't stop. Like, it'll make me think of a question that I want the answer to, and then the internet won't give me it because it's a very niche question. But Reddit will. So then I'll go on Reddit to a question that was asked 10 years ago, and it'll be perfect. It'll give me the answer. Everything should be fine then. I should be happy and content with, I've learned something new. But then they'll come up with another question that I never really asked myself, but I thought, that was kind of interesting, and I'll click on that. And then an hour later, 2 hours later, I'm still on Reddit. And that's kind of my mornings. That's kind of my situation. So I've been thinking of a solution, of some solutions to that problem. And I'm not sure what is the best. So one thing is, another problem I have is I go on YouTube to watch one video and then I watch loads. And usually, and because YouTube videos are so short, which is why I go watch the first one, and TV episodes or whatever are so long, like half an hour, the ones I'm thinking of, when I'm thinking in the morning what I should do, half an hour feels like a long time to waste. But actually I'm thinking, if I did watch that half an hour episode and then woke up, decided to fully get up, that would be better than YouTube for an hour. So maybe I should kind of let myself go a little bit and maybe let myself enjoy half an hour of TV so then I can get on with my day. Another idea I had, and this may or may not be influenced by my decaying brain and my wish to solve this issue, is to do some brain teasers in the morning. And the more I say this one, this feels more like the better option. Because I have a book of a bunch of quizzes and puzzles to do, and I've not done them for quite a long time. I was quite consistent on it, doing at least one a day, and then I stopped doing it. And I'm thinking, if I made that part of my routine, and I just did one quiz in the morning, and then got up and started my day, that's a solution. And part of what I was going to do in this video was think of more solutions, but then I like to keep them under 15 minutes. So we'll leave it there, I guess. If you learned something, let me know. If you can think of any other solutions to get up in the morning, also let me know. I don't know. If you have any solutions to make the camera better, also let me know. But I'll see you later. Bye.